Well, howdy folks. Well, I warned you I had a couple more axes to hang and a few more tools to restore, so I'm going to get started on that today. This one's kind of a special one to me, not because it's a special thing, but I've always wanted a double bit axe. Yes, sir. And so I got this one real cheap, $15 for this head, and there's no marking on it other than a 3-2. I believe this is I weighed it and it's a 3.5 pound head. So it should be a good one for felling trees. It should be good for doing some splitting as well, I'm hoping. So we're going to get this guy all cleaned up and restored. And then I've got a handle for it. It's a hickory handle from Council Tool. And it's going to take a little bit of work to get it to fit the same way as the sledgehammer one did. So we'll do that. This one has an awful lot of lacquer on it that we're going to have to sand all off. And so there's going to be a bit of work on that handle. But it's a 36-inch handle. And we'll have a nice, good double bit axe when we're all done with it. So for now, we're going to get the wire wheel on this and get it cleaned up. And then we'll start working on that handle. There we are. Alright, got all that paint off of there. Now I'll work a bit on that handle to get it to fit. And then we'll start working on sharpening this guy back up again. So the fit-wise, we're going to have to come down a bit. Now, you'll notice it does just start in the one end, but that would be the upside down end. The eye of an axe is actually bigger at the top than it is at the bottom. So that's a good tip for when you're hanging an axe, and if you're not quite sure which way the head should go, the orientation of the head, the eye on the bottom should actually be smaller than the eye on the top typically. So let's get the rasp on this and start to shave her down a bit. So again, I'm going to use that Nicholson's rasp and file for woodcraft. Still quite a bit, so I'm going to come down quite a lot. Got to try to sit it right down on that fatter part. We're starting to see it on the front here, so getting close. Give that a whack and see how she goes. It's starting to close up now, so that's good. Okay, so I think we've got a good fit now. It's touching all the way around, so it's going to be good once we hammer it on good. So what we do need to do is pull this kerf down just a little bit. Axe head's going to sit right about there, and we want that line to come down about 2/3, so we want it just down maybe another 1/2 inch or so. It's close. Go. Okay. Give this guy a good sanding. Okay, all sanded down, feels much better, obviously. So I think we will hang that head. I don't have any hardwood here. No hardwood. I cannot find any hardwood here. And in the forest, all I got is poplar, so there's no way I'm using that. So, man, we are going to have to finish hanging this head at home when I can cut a piece of cherry or something hard or walnut or something I've got at home to put a wedge in that. What's that? No, that's just cedar. Now, I'm going to try and do this without taking it off of the handle because I have kind of fit it. See how it's got curl all the way around. I really don't want to mess with that. I don't want to mess with that. So I'm going to try and keep the head on here while we do this. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put this in just a little ways just to make sure that it doesn't pop out. Hand tight. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll try and get a new edge on this thing. Okay, so on a double bit axe, obviously there's 2 bits, double bit. And typically you've got one side, which is your chopping sort of edge, and the other side typically will be sort of your grub chopping edge. So the kind of an edge that can dig into the ground and hit some roots and just kind of be bashed up a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on the good side. This side seems to be sharpened a little less. This side seems to have been sharpened a little more. So I'm going to assume the side that was sharpened more was the grub side. It's also got a chip out of it that we're going to try and get rid of. And then we'll ground the other side differently. So on the grub side, we're going to go with a nice fat, maybe, 30 degree. And then on the other side, we'll go with a more like a standard kind of chopping kind of angle, like a 20 or 25 degree. So that's what we're going to do. So if you've got a bit of a wavy edge to your bit, really the best thing you can do for it is just round that right off and just get rid of it and start with something fresh. So that's what we're going to do, and it may seem a little counterintuitive, but I'm going to just run this file flat against the blade and just flatten that out to a shape that I'm happy with, and then we're going to start to reintroduce the edge to that, because there's really no point in just trying to file back because it's going to continue to be wavy. And really the fastest way to get it out of that condition is just to file it to a point where you're happy with it, to a round that you're happy with, and then start filing the edge back down again to a taper. So that's what we're going to do here. Okay, so I've been working on this rough side for a little bit, and I think we've pretty much got it to where I want it. That secondary grind, that edge grind, is at about 30 degrees now, and it's feeling fairly sharp with just the file. And so now what we'll do is we'll switch to the other side and file that side, and then we'll start to work on it with a sharpening stone, and we'll do the sharpening stone and get it just razor sharp. Last 2 days of the season. I'll be right back. Just wait there. I'll be right back. Well, howdy folks, there she is. I finished the double bit. I had to take it back to the city. I didn't have any hardwood here. So back in the city I had some nice cherry, so I cut a nice cherry wedge out of that and sanded it all down and glued that into place on this guy. So I did that and then did the burn on the handle and oiled the handle up, and man, This thing is absolutely gorgeous. It's a little longer handle than I'm typically used to. It's a 36-inch handle. And so I'm hoping I don't have too many overstrikes with it, learning it, but it really turned out quite nice. So let's have a couple nice close-up shots of it here, and then we'll cut some wood with it and see how she goes. Okay folks, well there you have it, my double bit axe, all hung and ready to go. I'm really looking forward to taking this thing out into the woods next time I need to take a tree down or something, and trying that. Also just trying to buck up some bigger logs. So we've got a bunch of logs up there that we're going to be wanting to split in the next little while and get stacked up for firewood. So maybe we'll try this thing at bucking up a few sections of it just to see how she goes. But anyway, it was a fun project. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you on the next one.